We saw an update to Crowdcast today, so audio processing is a little bit wonky, but hopefully we'll get that ironed out for the next Crowdcast Bitwarden Vault Hour session, because I know that you guys are all great fans of the music at the beginning. So let's just jump right in. Oh, hi, Anders. Let's pin
Hi,
that.
Casey. Thank you for having me today.
Yeah, of course. Amazing. Cool. Well, yeah, my name is Casey Babcock, and I'm joined with some lovely colleagues, including Ryan and Jasira, and Anders just hopped on as well. So we've got a great lineup of speakers today. Great to see everyone at another Vault Hour session. It's been a while. If you remember, we switched to a quarterly basis, so it's been a couple months since we've seen all your lovely faces, or lovely usernames in this case. Because we haven't seen you in a couple months, we have a stacked agenda today. First, starting off with Passwordless.dev, we have Anders here, the founder, and he's going to walk us through a little bit about Passwordless.dev and how to use that solution. Next, a little bit about Passkeys. Ryan's going to deep dive into Passkeys and how they're used. And then a very similar topic is SSO with trusted devices, which is a new release that we just had. And then my personal favorite is Secrets Manager. We just entered general availability and exited beta a couple months ago. So after our last Vault Hour session, so I'll run through that with the team. And then lastly is the product roadmap. So we have our product managers on the call who are going to talk a little bit more about our future initiatives and what you can expect. Beautiful. Well, we kind of call this out every time, but you are also always free to join on screen if you have a question or comment that you'd like to make live. This is a democracy. You are allowed to contribute to the conversation in that way. So if you have a question or comment that you'd like to make live, just make a note of it in the chat and we'll get you promoted. You're also welcome to ask questions or make comments in the chat or in the questions pane. Since our last session, it seems that Crowdcast has updated, so that might be in a different location than last time, but we're all smart people. I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
I'm sure there's plenty.
Cool. Is there any initial questions? I'm not seeing any. Looks like we have quite a few people from around the world, though, here. Someone's calling in from Germany. We've got people from Texas. What else from Germany? Huh, that seems like a popular location today. I'm not seeing any questions right now, but feel free to put those in the chat or in the questions pane throughout the session, because we'll just continue answering them as we go along. Beautiful. So I'm going to hand it off to Anders to talk a little bit about Passwordless.dev.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here and talk about Passwordless.dev and Passkeys, I guess a bit in general. And I hope everybody watching is also interested in this kind of new era of safe authentication. So I'm not going to go too deep into Passkeys. I will try to talk more about Passwordless.dev since we're diving into Passkeys and Bitwarden after my presentation. But so Passwordless.dev is a way to bring Passkeys to your web apps. So if you are a software developer tuning into this, or perhaps you work in IT and you know that your organization has their own web apps, might be external web apps. So if you're a SaaS business or e-commerce and you have external users signing into, that's a good opportunity to make that sign-in both faster and more secure and simpler to use for your external users. But also if you're a company and you work in IT and you have employees that might be receiving phishing emails and you want to protect them and make internal authentication safer for your employees. Passkeys is a great piece of technology, and Passwordless.dev brings that to your web apps and makes it easy to implement. A small disclaimer for those who haven't heard about Passkeys, you can use on-device biometrics, right? So it's as easy as unlocking your phone in many cases. Some people might already be using Passkeys, some have not heard of it. I think it's important to remember ourselves that you don't need to move to only using Passkeys. They are secure in that way, so you could use Passkeys and Passwordless.dev as your first and only sign-in method if you want to. But there's nothing stopping you from using Passwordless.dev, for example, as an alternative to your existing methods, whatever they may be, single sign-on, username and passwords, etc. Or you can use passwordless.dev to add multi-factor authentication. So instead of having your users download an app on their phone and typing in those one-time passcodes, you can use Passkeys for that instead, and that will be, well, frankly, more secure and a lot easier to use and less frustrating to get users to do it correctly. Another interesting use case for Passkeys, because they are, it's so easy, it's just like scanning your fingerprint, is use what is called a step up or critical step authentication. That means, for example, before a employee or a user is about to do something potentially dangerous or sensitive, like unlocking the master database, retrieving all the logs and data, or delete an account or delete an object in your system, you can ask for them to do one final scan of their fingerprint. And that's a great way to use passwordless.dev, where you might be using single sign-on to have your employees to get into the system, but you want that final layer of security before they do something dangerous. That's a really neat use case for passwordless.dev, that it's kind of easy to get that behavior in there. With many authentication systems, like you might already have one, and it is a risk to throw it out and change it to a new system. So what we try to do is to make it easy to integrate passwordless.dev. So you don't need to, if you've invested in having Microsoft Active Directory, for example, or Okta or Google SSO, you can add passwordless.dev on top to your applications. So we don't want to force you to rip everything out and use this brand different solution. So I think that's important to remember. I'm an engineer, so I try to make sure that we get to show some code. I promise we won't be doing too much technical content in terms of code, but I wanted to just give you, the audience, a glimpse of how little code you need to add to your application to actually get passwordless.dev working and to get passkeys. So in this example, it's basically 3 lines of code that you need to add on your client side, and that will give you a token that you can use to authenticate. So with the code that you're seeing on the screen, this will actually prompt the user to sign in using maybe their Face ID if they're on a MacBook device, or a fingerprint if they're on their Windows device or a Android device. So this is all the code that you actually need, which I think goes a long way to make it simple for developers to add. So if you're not a developer but you're tuning into this to learn how to secure your organization and secure your users, please tell your developer friends. Many people are still learning about Passkeys for the first time, and I hopefully some of the audience are learning about Passkeys here. We get to educate you on this exciting new authentication method. And I do want to stress that passwordless.dev is a very nice technology to use for experimenting and learning. So we try to make it very welcoming for new developers to try this technology out and really make their own applications more secure. And of course, as with Bitwarden, we do offer a very nice free tier, so that you don't need to invest money to get started using Passkeys and secure your users. Please follow the links to passwordless.dev, or if you're a developer and you want to get into it, go look in the documentation and you can get started in, I think it would take 5 minutes to sign up, and you're off on your passkey journey.
Thanks, Anders. Really appreciate that. I know that you're calling in on a Friday night for you. So I do want to make sure that any questions about passwordless.dev, those are answered now, so you can go enjoy your Friday night. But is there any questions about passwordless.dev? I'm not seeing any so far, but I'll give it a second to let people type in their questions. I do want to highlight what Anders just said, though, that there is a free tier at Bitwarden. We are very committed to making sure that security is accessible for everyone. And so that means allowing people to access our products for free.
Absolutely. And I can add on that you can sign up for free, and we also publish SDKs for multiple languages. So you can use Passwordless.dev kind of regardless of what backend language framework you're using. And we do publish some SDKs for popular language out there.
Cool. Yeah. Well, thank you for that information. I'm not seeing any questions coming in, but if people have questions, we can always answer them a little bit later on. I think Ryan and I have a decent amount of information about passwordless.dev, so we could probably answer that in a helpful way. But thank you so much. This was so informative. And with that, I think it's time to kind of shift gears a little bit, but focus more on passkeys. And Ryan, I think you have a little bit about passkeys and how they're used that you can kind of talk to us about.
And honestly, it was probably a bad idea to follow a passkey expert internally, Anders. So like, I'm sure that I have something here that might be like might be open to some criticism, but please jump in if there's anything that I've not understood here correctly. But passkey is the terminology that's used for any passwordless FIDO authentication. That could include hardware security keys. That could include the passkeys that you might be able to use on like Apple iCloud keychain. But there are two main types of passkeys. We have the synced passkey, which is the one that can be stored securely in any sort of syncing service, like a password manager that supports passkeys. This used to be called multi-device credentials, but that term has been deprecated. It's just not. It's just out of date now. So synced passkey is the term that's used. And then there's also the device-bound passkey. These are the passkeys that are stuck to hardware security keys, like YubiKeys, like this here. And previously, this used to be called FIDO2 WebAuthn. That term is still applicable, but device-bound passkey is the new term that will be more common moving forward. We missed a slide. Yes. Yeah. So how does Bitwarden use passkeys? Well, right now, today, this is the column on the left, we have passkeys implemented in two manners. So first, in Bitwarden Password Manager and Secrets Manager, you can use passkeys as a two-step login. And so this was in the product is labeled as WebAuthn. This lets you use passkeys, both device-bound and synced passkeys, as a 2FA. So you log in like you normally would, enter your email address, master password. It asks you for your security key, which you can use either a hardware security key here, Windows Hello might pop up and try to interject itself, or any other way that you have for passkeys will be able to be used for that. Now, just recently, just this last week, that feature for 2FA for passkeys used to be only for premium users for Bitwarden. But now that is free for everybody. So if you have just a free plan with Bitwarden, now you can use this advanced authentication measure for two-step login, two-factor authentication for your Bitwarden account. So we're just bringing all this extra security to everyone, everywhere. So it was really fun to announce that. I saw some people on Reddit who were going through our GitHub saw that that code for that get implemented beforehand and started raising some cheers and excitement. So glad that one's out. And then also, as we just heard, passwordless.dev is how Bitwarden is involved in passkeys on that end, just helping developers add passkeys to their own applications and websites. Now, some of the fun stuff coming up soon. We're going to hear from our product team here on some of this in the future in this presentation. But coming soon, passkey management within the Bitwarden Password Manager. So you'll be able to create and save passkeys in your vault alongside passwords, right, for websites and apps. Super excited that's coming. That's going to be a great addition to our extensions, and people will be able to start using passkeys for the sites that support it. Awesome. And then shortly following that, we're going to be able to log into Bitwarden with a passkey. And this also is really neat because when you do the authentication with the passkey, it also counts as its own two-factor authentication. So you'll be able to do all of that in one step with a passkey. And if you are using a browser that supports the PRF extension for FIDO, which I forget exactly what that acronym means right now, but what it does is that it is able to take that passkey and turn it into a encryption key. So you'll be, thank you, pseudo random function. You will be able to use that passkey to decrypt your vault as well, which is crazy because you'll be able to do everything with just like one of your passkeys. It's great. So you'll be able to authenticate 2FA, authenticate 2FA and decrypt all with this. Now the problem is that not too many browsers have picked up PRF yet, the extension. So you'll be able to do that in Chrome Canary, which is the development version of Chrome that has all the experimental features in it. But that will surely become more widely used soon. Any questions about how Bitwarden's using passkeys and our plans for them?
Surprised we're not getting more questions about that. That is such a popular topic on the community and Reddit, but maybe
Yeah,
a lot of
people.
people have already got their questions out of the way.
So here we do have a question here. Aside from PRF, how and in what way is the passkey function dependent on the used browser? E.g., with Firefox have this maybe in version 120, MVP. So the browser extension, my understanding right now is that all current versions are able to use these discoverable credentials. We do have some of our product people in our chat who can help answer those questions about browser support. So as I said, besides PRF, which is definitely Chrome Canary, my understanding is that modern browsers on your desktop device or laptop device, I guess I'm trying to say, should be able to support that. Mobile browsers, I think we need to do some research into.
Looks like we have another question as well. How is two-step login feature that is available now different from the passkey login feature that's coming soon?
Yeah, so right now, you will, using the two-factor authentication, you still would need to authenticate yourself using your, how do I say it? So when you log in to Bitwarden, right, with your username and master password, that authenticates you. And then the two-factor authentication is the second step for that. That could also happen with SSO, where a single sign-on authenticates you. Or it could also happen with login with device, where that might authenticate you, but you still need to have the second step to confirm your identity. It's basically going to come down to when that feature is available. It's going to come down to user functionality and user options. Like, what would you rather do? Would you rather have all that done with just a single passkey, or would you rather have the two separate steps? So that's my understanding of it. I'm sure that our product team is going to have a better vision when we talk about it on the roadmap of what that looks like for user choice.
And I like that new feature where whenever we are answering a question, it pops up on the screen. I don't know if anyone else noticed that, but that's
Yeah.
really helpful for me to remember which question we're on. So that's awesome.
We
Cool. Well,
have
do you want to
another.
jump into SSO with, oh, we have another
Yeah,
question.
one more about Duo, and yes, right now that is the MFA service that we support. I mean, obviously there are a lot of other options you could use for MFA, but Duo is what we support. If you used any other authenticator, such as like Authy or Microsoft Authenticator or Google Authenticator, you could just choose the third-party app for that. If a client uses Microsoft, this is from Matt. If a client uses Microsoft for identity management, then SSO is the route for authentication beyond master password. Yes, typically, if someone is using an enterprise solution, we would recommend that your two-factor authentication is derived from your single sign-on provider, that you do that with them there. Not every company uses single sign-on. Single sign-on is only an enterprise feature, so someone in team using our Teams plan might issue YubiKeys to everyone or individuals as well. So yeah, that's the recommendation there. All right, SSO with trusted devices. This is also a really super exciting feature that also just came out. It is a new version of single sign-on. It is a passwordless experience, and all you really need to log in is just your SSO credentials, and then boom, you're now logged in and decrypted and able to access your vault in both Bitwarden and for Secrets Manager. So the way it works is that when you log on with a new device, you need to have that device approved. You can either approve from another device that's already been trusted before, you can request an admin to approve the device, or if your account still has a master password, which this solution actually will let you have an account without one. But if you still have a master password, you can enter the master password and have your device trusted that way. When your device is trusted, there's going to be an encryption key specific to that device stored securely on the device that would allow it to decrypt your Bitwarden vault once you log in. So this really just gives you a really cool passwordless experience for your users who, users always forget master passwords. This way, all they really need to know is just their single sign-on credentials, and they'll be able to get into Bitwarden. Now,
Yeah, I kind of want to highlight that. Like, that's a big deal that you can use Bitwarden without a master password. That is a brand new kind of that kind of goes against everything that has been implemented in the past. So that's a really
yeah.
big deal
Well,
and very smooth process for larger organizations that use SSO.
absolutely, and yeah, and part of that comes from our end-to-end encryption and the way that we're zero knowledge end-to-end encrypted as an application. And so there's two processes that happen when someone logs in. When you log in, you get authenticated, and then after the authentication, your client receives the Bitwarden vault that's encrypted, and you need to decrypt it. And that decrypting is that second step is, who has the encryption key? Where can I get the key that can actually decrypt the vault? Now, if you're using login with SSO, if we go down to the next paragraph here, Bitwarden offers the most flexibility for SSO, which is a really important story. If you log in with SSO, which is our standard vanilla SSO right now, users need to use a master password to log in. Well, the SSO authenticates you. You can do the two-factor authentication. Your SSO service, your IDP service, can decide whether or not you should be authenticated or not. But that master password is still necessary to decrypt the vault, because the encryption key comes from a process that's derived from your master password. And so, looking at it from an encryption or decryption point of view here, these three options that Bitwarden offers for SSO really covers pretty much every scenario that you could want, and it gives you the most flexibility for SSO possible. So, log in with SSO uses the master password to decrypt the vault. So in that case, the encryption key is kept with the user. Right. SSO with trusted devices, as I just said, you get a device encryption key that gets stored onto a device that's trusted. The encryption stays with the device. The ability to decrypt stays with the device. And then SSO with customer managed encryption. This is a solution for our self-hosting customers that are sufficiently advanced and have a really big infrastructure. This allows users to log in with SSO and then have the Bitwarden client reach out to a private key server on users' networks. So you might have a key server in your rack that has everybody's encryption keys, and retrieve that way, which also gives a passwordless experience. And this keeps the encryption key on your own network. So depending upon how you want it, do you want to keep it with the users? Do you want to keep it with their devices, or do you want to keep it under your own locking key? That's the cool flexibility that we offer with SSO. And on top of that too, Bitwarden is fully compatible with SAML 2.0 and OIDC. So these functions, there's no other service out there that's as compatible with us. So the important message here is that you can use your current IDP and SSO service without having to change your settings. You can just plug Bitwarden right into your settings here, to your stack, integrate seamlessly, and then choose where you want the encryption keys to be and how you want to SSO, basically. Does anybody have any questions about that? This SSO trusted device is super excited. We had a couple of customers who were really super happy about that. And is this available now? And what time? It is available now. You can do it right now. And it's if you're already using login with SSO, which is, like I said, the one that requires your master password. It's a 2-click settings change. You can just go into your settings right now and just change your type, and boom, you're done. So really, really super neat. I'm done. I'm ready to pass it over to you there, Casey.
Okay, amazing. Well, then I can jump into Bitwarden Secrets Manager, and we'll continue answering questions as they come in. But as I kind of highlighted earlier, Bitwarden Secrets Manager a couple months ago in August exited beta and went into general availability. So we haven't had a chance to talk about Bitwarden Secrets Manager and in general availability because that happened in between these two Bitwarden sessions, or these two Vault Hour sessions. So I'll have to kind of dive into that with everyone. So first off, kind of why does this even matter, right? Well, we found recently that 60% of global IT decision makers, that's 60% within the past year, reported that their organization experienced a cyber attack. And a lot of these cyber attacks are also linked to leaked secrets. So secrets that are hard-coded into code, maybe they're being reused, maybe they are being shared in ENV files that are unencrypted, just insecure ways to use developer secrets. And that's contributing to this high number of cyber attacks on organizations. So that's one of the reasons that we developed Bitwarden Secrets Manager. And it's a secure solution that empowers development teams to store, manage, automate, and share secrets at scale, of course, with end-to-end encryption. And I also wanted to do a little call out here for our Secrets Manager beta testers. I don't know if we have any of them on the call today, but you are part of the reason this is a big part of the reason that we have this solution available. So thank you so much. We got a lot of really valuable feedback and insights from you guys. So really appreciate that. So with Bitwarden Secrets Manager, right, it minimizes that insecure sharing and hard coding of secrets, like I just highlighted before, with a centralized secrets management solution. So making sure that you're not experiencing secret sprawl within the organization, but instead having a secure and centralized area to store all of your secrets. It also enables your DevOps team to monitor and manage access to sensitive information and systems through secrets. And that could be user access or machine access, right? So being able to inject that into a job that is running, and machines will be able to automatically pull those secrets. And then lastly, it empowers developers to be more productive. I mean, I think a lot of people have experienced sharing maybe a static file with important information that gets changed over and over again. So having a solution that is the source of truth and is constantly being updated with new secrets empowers developers to be more productive and ensuring that the right information is being injected into their jobs. Cool. So what makes Bitwarden Secrets Manager so cool and so much better than all the other competitors out there? First is end-to-end encryption. I think kind of mentioned this, but a lot of the other solutions on the market, they have some sort of encryption methods, but they're not necessarily end-to-end encrypted. So if you are looking for a secure solution for storing your secrets, Bitwarden is probably your best choice. And then next is unlimited secret storage. So, I mean, this is kind of a common theme throughout today's session, but Bitwarden is a big believer in allowing accessibility to security solutions. And so we actually offer unlimited secret storage for every single plan for Bitwarden Secrets Manager. So that includes our free plan. So you can store as many developer secrets as you want within the free plan and not worry about incurring charges, which is pretty darn cool. I'm pretty excited about that. And then next is open source security, also very much in line with Bitwarden values, is making all of our solutions open source and how that contributes to overall security of the solution just based on third-party reviews. And then predictable pricing. Also, an issue that we found with a lot of other solutions in the market is that pricing is not predictable and it's really hard to budget for just because there's so many variables that go into creating a quote. Right? So if you go to like some of those quote calculators for some of the cloud solutions, I think there's like 8 or 9 different variables that go into generating a quote. And Bitwarden really didn't want to do that, right? So our pricing is based solely off of the plan that you have and then users. So your user count will, and the licenses that you've provisioned for Secrets Manager will contribute to your pricing. So it makes it really easy to budget for. Cool. So this is a view of Bitwarden Secrets Manager for those who have not played around with it yet. So this is the dashboard view. You can see all the secrets down below, and then each secret is associated with a project. So that's very similar to like the collections in Password Manager. So basically grouping secrets together so that way they can be used within your developer environment in ways that make sense. Also very much like collections, this is how you start assigning access to those secrets. So if we jump into a project here, on the top tab, we can dive into some secrets, but what we're looking at right now is the people tab. So you can see that we can assign user and user group access to this project, and then also service account access. So service accounts are the mechanism by which we associate machines and machine access to secrets within each project. So you can assign very specific service account access permissions to be able to pull those secrets and inject them into your job. So that's everything about Secrets Manager. Is there any questions? That was kind of a lot of information, especially since we haven't talked about Bitwarden Secrets Manager in a couple months. I'm not seeing anything. Okay, well, if there's no questions, I mean, I'm going to be on here until the end of the session, so I can always answer questions as we go along, but maybe I'll hand it off to our next section, which is the Bitwarden roadmap. And I think we're going to need to invite some people up to the main stage. Oh yeah, thank you, Sai. So we have a really awesome Secrets Manager 101 course to learn a little bit more about Bitwarden Secrets Manager in really nice bite-sized chunks, and that's available in our Learning Center. Thank you, Sai, for calling that out. And hello, Micah.
Hello.
So we need Priya also on the call, I'm assuming, and then who else from the product team will be walking us through today? Is that just you two?
I think just us two.
Okay, beautiful. Cool. Well, then I'll let you take it away.
Well, thank you. I don't know what this looks like on everybody else's screen. There we go. I felt like I was really large there on the screen. I won't go, this has been published. If you'd like, you can check out, we regularly publish updates on our roadmap in our Bitwarden community forum. So this has been there for, I think, a week or two now. I won't go into too many specifics, but I did want to call attention to some of the changes we've made to try and reflect accurately to have some transparency around things that are in development and things that are under research. So previously we had sort of presented a first half of the year, second half of the year kind of goals. And now we're moving more towards letting you know this is what we're currently working on, and these are things that we're thinking about working on. So when you see something in development, that means that developers are coding. You can look at our GitHub and you can see commits happening for those bodies of work, and you can expect that those features will come to the applications at some point soon because we're actively working on them. For the under research items, sometimes this means we're working on proofs of concept, so you may see commits in our GitHub, but oftentimes this means that product managers like myself and Priya are thinking through how we want to define this feature. We may be researching different implementations or different customer pain points that we can solve by introducing these features. Or Bitwarden's design team might be working through iterations of different designs, even doing research into how users respond to prototype designs. Sometimes we post in our community forum and ask, hey, would somebody like to participate in user research and have a look at design? So if that's something you're interested in, you're always welcome to go there. But importantly, items under research might not become features, or they might not go first from being under research to being in development. We might instead pull other items into development ahead of those items. So it's important to note that when you see something under research, there's no guarantee that this will be coming to the product soon, whereas that is the case with items in development. So I wanted to make sure that that was clear and we were being transparent around that. And then as far as the items in development goes, if there's any questions that people have around them, Priya and I are happy to answer those questions. Priya, did you have anything to add, I guess, to the sort of how Bitwarden development works?
Priya, I think we're having a hard time hearing you. I don't know about everyone else, but yeah, I wasn't able to hear any of that, unfortunately.
Yeah, just try adjusting your audio device. But I will say right now is a good time for if anyone has any specific questions and want to hear it straight from the product team's mouth. Come on up, give us the questions, put it in the QA, put it in the chat. Ask the hard ones if you really want to. We're here for you.
Yeah, Mike, it looks like we got one question. Can you speak to specific expanded policies?
Oh, there we go. I think I can hear you now. This is a great question for Priya, so I'm going to have her answer that.
Okay, great. So yeah, sorry for my audio issues before. So to start on expanded policies, this essentially includes additional policies we want to add for enterprise customers. So those are things like additional settings, or when it comes to different client configurations, being able to centralize that from the admin console, like clipboard timeout or pin options, that sort of thing. So new policies to come over the future. And secondly, around client collection management, this is introducing more flexibility to how collections are managed. So the two things we're achieving here is, one, allowing user roles to create and manage their own collections, as well as restricting item visibility for admin and owner roles. So this will not only benefit teams and enterprise users, but also our families and two-person org users. So we're really excited to get that to your hands. Let's see what the next question is.
I can answer the next question around the login with device feature and post-quantum public key algorithm. So we're certainly keeping an eye on sort of the developments in quantum resistant algorithms. And certainly when we feel like it's appropriate, we're going to be updating the entire Bitwarden product to incorporate stronger algorithms when we feel it's necessary. So the answer is we don't have anything planned right now, but we're keeping an eye on it.
Thanks, Micah. And I'll take the next question for MSPs. So we have an issue being able to access passwords saved to client organizations. Matt, are you able to expand on that in terms of accessing those items, because I believe currently providers are able to have that access. While we wait on that, feel free to ask more questions as well.
I see a couple of exciting things on this roadmap too to point out. Self-hosting coming to Bitwarden Passwordless.dev. I know that's been something that customers have been requesting. So that's cool to see that in development there. And then under research, I know that some work has been going into this, but vault item sharing is something that I'm excited to see personally.
And Matt, okay, perfect. So that's helpful. So this is also in the scope of the client collection management piece you see for the MSP's line item. So in addition to restricting owner and admin visibility to items, that will also be extended to the MSP provider users. So we will limit that visibility to organization credentials with this collection feature.
I do want to call out, Ryan just mentioned self-hosting support for Bitwarden Passwordless.dev, but also self-hosting support is going to be coming to Bitwarden Secrets Manager as well. So pretty exciting. I know that that's something that has been requested by the community and other just excited users of Bitwarden. Cool. Well, it doesn't look like there's any other questions. So I might depromote you, Priya and Micah, unless you want to stay on. But thank you so much for running through that roadmap. That was really helpful.
Great, thank you, product team. I think you guys got off easy. But no, it was great to see the roadmap. Thank you for sharing. It was wonderful. And I called out self-hosting for passwords. I was just looking at the passwords.dev. I meant to call out the secrets manager one. So thanks for that. So I'm going to go through the blog. We've been pretty busy writing a whole bunch of blogs and material and content that's interesting and useful to you, we hope, and the general security enthusiasts at large. So there have been quite a few blogs that have gone through. Let's go ahead and take a look, starting from back in August. Easily integrate single sign-on security with flexible solutions. This blog is detailing, it was a little bit of an early announcement of SSO at trusted devices, and it detailed all three solutions that we offered for single sign-on and how you can easily integrate with that. Our next one was a how do passkeys work. I had to do a lot of research and learn a lot about passkeys to put this blog together. It was a wonderful educational experience for me. It also includes a infographic to show how the private-public key pair works to authenticate a user. So it's really, really useful information there if you wanted to brush up on passkeys. Security habits around the world. This is a really interesting survey, a global survey that we had initiated that has, I'm actually going to I'm going to get the URL here and put it in the chat to see how people are using surveys around, between different regions. And you probably won't be all that surprised to learn that a lot of people, regardless of what country they're in, use the word password as their password. So you'll see all the statistics on that there. Our next slide, we're looking at the Bitwarden architecture. This is kind of a how things work at Bitwarden for people putting in PRs or pull requests to how our data works around in the background, including links to our white paper, security white paper there. This is some really good under the hood information on how Bitwarden works. We have a really cool blog here and also a how to implement Secrets Manager and how you can get that to work with GitHub, specifically with publishing a Docker app. It's a really, really neat integration information here. And for people who are interested in Secrets Manager and want to see what it looks like in action or the proof of concept, this is a great place to start. This was a really fun activity that we had. We hosted a contest, a video contest for people to talk about how much they love their password manager. It didn't have to be specifically about Bitwarden, but a lot of folks did talk about us. And we had some prize money and some really cool creative videos came through. I posted the link here in the chat. You should just go check them out. They're short, but the creativity of our community was really awesome to see. And yes, how passionate people are about their password manager. So congratulations to the winners of that. And we had quite a few submissions. You can see everything on our YouTube channel. It's linked in this blog. Also, the videos are embedded, and we got hand-drawn animations. We have like detective noir style things, and just some really, really creative storytelling in here.
That was very entertaining to watch. I had a great time just going through the entire playlist.
Oh yeah. It was great. Passkeys with Passwordless.dev. This is another excellent blog about how to get Passwordless.dev in your code, specifically for .NET applications, and how you can install the SDKs that are required for it all. Another really good how-to. So we had one great how-to on secrets managers. This is a great how-to and proof of concept for Passwordless.dev. I recommend checking that out. SSO is trusted devices. I talked a bunch about this already, so we can go ahead and move on to the next one. But if you did want to see like some actual details on how all that worked, you can check out that blog and everything and how to set it up. And then this one, there were some recent amendments made to this act. This act came out in 1999 that governs how financial institutions are supposed to manage your security. Just recently, there was some amendments to this act, and it details some of the changes in how a how a password manager like Bitwarden can help businesses be compliant with this act. I talked about this as well. FIDO2 Web Authn 2FA, also known as device-bound passkeys, or actually just passkeys in general, could be device-bound or synced passkeys. You can now use as a two-factor authentication. I've held up my YubiKey a lot. I'm not paid by them, I promise. It's just what I happen to have. And this is a really exciting announcement. And Bitwarden is the only password manager that offers such a robust set of security tools for everyone to use. So really proud of us for pushing this out there and making security available for everyone.
Great. Well, thank you for running through that, Ryan. It looks like we had another question pop up about alphabetizing the collection nest box, and I believe that is not currently possible, but I might pass it off to the product team if you guys want to add a little comment in there about specifics. So Priya and Micah, that should be on the Q&A tab if you're interested in answering that. But next is the news feed. So since we last met, there's quite a few different things that popped up in the news feed about Bitwarden. The first being we were ranked as one of the best password managers in 2023 by a couple different outlets. First being Tech Advisor, and then XDA Developers calling us one of the best free password managers in 2023. Although we all know that we're one of the best password managers in general, but also have a very good free version. And then Make Use Of noted Bitwarden as one of the best 4 password managers for Windows 11. And then Forbes Advisor called Bitwarden out as one of the best iPhone password managers of 2023. So lots of really great call outs in the media. Love to see Bitwarden recognized. And next, something that's close to my heart, just with my close association with Bitwarden Secrets Manager, was some media pickup in terms of our general availability launch. So first, Tech Advisor talking about how the new Bitwarden Secrets Manager is a great solution for managing business secrets. And oh, we got some music going. Okay, thank you, Ryan.
I was queuing up.
And then HelpNet Security and Bleeping Computer called out that we also offer end-to-end encryption, which I kind of said earlier is a big differentiator for us. Not a lot of other solutions offer that. So pretty exciting that there's such a secure way to store your secrets and inject them into your workflows. Well, next is about passkeys. There seems to be a lot of very similar topics that we're talking about today, right? Passkeys, Secrets Manager, a lot of overlap. But first was an article about from Tech Advisor talking about what are passkeys and how do they replace passwords. And they offered up Bitwarden as a option in the future whenever we offer passkey support as a really good solution for that. And then Apple at Work podcast actually had Anders on, who was on our call earlier, to talk about Passwordless.dev and then passkeys in general. So that's a pretty cool podcast to go check out. Next, another article by Make Use Of called Bitwarden out for one of the best online password generators for strong and random passwords. For those who are not familiar, we actually offer password generators in every client, but then also just on the web, right? You don't even have to have a Bitwarden login to generate a strong and random password. You can just go to bitwarden.com/password-generator, and you'll be able to be directed to that. So that's a pretty cool resource, especially for like people who have family members who are a little scared of password managers. Though that's a really great resource just to be generating new, strong, and random passwords for them. And then lastly, Bitwarden was called as one of the best LastPass alternatives of 2023, specifically the best open source solution with a 4.2 star rating from Forbes Advisor. We also know we are the best in terms of a lot of other reasons, but really cool that we got recognized for being open source. And with that, I think I'm going to hand it off to Jasira to talk a little bit more about our Help Center.
All right, can we just do a sound check, because I think my wonderful headset just went to the headphones in the sky.
I'm hearing you loud and clear. It sounds great.
Okay, perfect. All right. Well, welcome everybody. I'm Jasira. I have really enjoyed hearing all of this new information myself. I've really been engaged, so I hope you have been too. I just want to give you some quick reminders on behalf of our technical training team. My colleague Sai is also in the chat hanging out with us. And I want to start with our Help Center, bitwarden.com help. This is where you're going to be able to get product documentation in article, step-by-step format. It's a great place to get the information you need, whether you are a first-time user, never used a password manager before, all the way up to being a power user or even an administrator for your organization. And so this quarter, we just have a couple of articles we want you to check out. The first one is how to attach files to Vault items. It is a really cool feature to have, sort of a one-stop shop based off of the items that you have in your vault. And we also have an article which gives an overview of the APIs that are currently available for Bitwarden customers. All right, next is my personal favorite. I am a little biased, but this is the Learning Center. And this is the baby of mine in both sides. And this is where you will also be able to get information based off, regardless of your skill set, but we give you bite-sized pieces in video format. So the Learning Center is going to be great for those of you who prefer to follow along while you're learning, who want to get more of a video-based education on a particular piece or subject related to getting acclimated with the password manager. We do encourage you to go to bitwarden.com/learning. We do have some new content that is uploaded every month. And what we would like you to look at is right in line with what we have already talked about today. So we have a new video on using SSO with trusted devices, getting started with Passwordless.dev, and the Secrets Manager demo that we put up shortly after GA happened. So we invite you to go over there to check out those videos along with anything else, such as our Secrets Manager 101 that Sai brought up, as well as our Password Manager 101 for those of you who are getting started. All right, so next we will go to community. And I wanted to just take a brief moment. I hope at some point both of these users will be able to see these kudos. But for those of you who are in our Reddit and community forum for Bitwarden, you know that I have taken over as the community lead. It has definitely been a challenging and fun process, but I didn't want to stop without thanking our moderators who have really been going above the extra mile and making the transition so super easy. So I wanted to thank on Reddit, D. Jason Penny. Thank you so much for the help that you have provided by helping me by watching you. I'm getting acclimated to the way things are working in Reddit, and we want to thank you again so much for staying on top of questions, being so thorough with your answers. It means a lot. And over on our community forum, I want to thank user GRB for continuing to provide the exact same experience for our members over there that our members in Reddit are getting from D. Jason Penny. So I wanted to thank you both for making the transition so easy. Continue to do the great job that you're doing. All right, next we have getting involved. And this is going to be a great place for those of you who are just super excited about the community of Bitwarden. You want to see what you can do to assist, what you can do to maybe even help make things better. And so if you go to bitwarden.com/get involved, there is going to be information on such as contribution codes, assisting with client localization, submitting a feature request, the other options that you see listed here. You do have the option to ask the Bitwarden community any questions, and you will definitely receive answers. Be prepared, because they will definitely answer your questions. I get additional information on joining the beta program, how to participate in any user research, as well as how to attend an event, which I believe is our next section. It is not. I forgot about careers. All right, if you would like to join Bitwarden, it is a wonderful company to work for. If you enjoy the product, you will definitely love the people. They put a lot of their heart and soul behind what they do, and you will find that this is a group of people who are not just excited about working for the company, but excited about watching it grow and really believe in the product that we are supporting. So this is a list of the open positions that are currently available. We suggest that you head over to bitwarden.com/careers to check it out. And as always, you can also use the general interest form to get in touch if you don't see a matching position available at this moment. Okay, now we're going to talk about events. All right, so the first thing we would like to do is invite you to visit bitwarden.com events to learn more about upcoming live events and how you can register so you can attend. Let's start with the 4th annual Open Source Security Summit, which is being held this year on December 7th. Now, during this 3-hour event, business leaders and industry visionaries, along with technology users, are going to highlight the future of open source security solutions. There will be tons of great information shared, and did I mention that it was free? So register now at bitwarden.com/open source security summit. You see the hyphens between each one of the words right there. And next and finally will be reminders of the weekly Teams and Enterprise demo that Cy and I both tag team together. It takes place every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, while our demos for our managed service providers, or MSPs, takes place every second Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's all I have for now.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sai. I mean, not Sai, Jasira. I feel like we just kept talking about Sai. She was on my mind. So beautiful. One more thing. If you have joined these Vault Hour sessions in the past, and I'm looking at time and we're getting really close to the end, but I'll keep this short. We have a Bitwarden store giveaway. So the store has been updated with a lot of really cool products. I personally just put in an order for the bright blue trucker hat. Kind of excited about that. I'm a very outdoorsy person, so that's going to be perfect. But yeah, lots of cool stuff in the Bitwarden store, and you have an opportunity to win some of them. So go to bitwarden.com/shop, and you scroll down to the bottom of that page and fill out the contact form. And in the comment section, just say that you heard about the giveaway during Vault Hours 35. And if you submit this form within 24 hours of now, you'd be entered into the giveaway, and you'll be notified via email if you won. So lots of cool stuff. Highly recommend going to check out the shop. And thank you everyone for joining. It was great hopping on Vault Hours again. Love, interacting with the community, and I think a lot of my coworkers say the same. Well, there's no questions or comments.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Then we might just move into some music, and we can answer questions as they come up. We can just stay online, but we might have our cameras off and let you guys enjoy some wonderful tunes. Hopefully Crowdcast doesn't butcher it as much as it was earlier. Fingers crossed.
We'll have to figure that out for next time. So I guess I can push the play button now. Is that right?